व्हाट्सएप ग्रुप में लिंक शेयर कर दी हूँ सर।
आप म्यूजिक प्ले कर दीजिए जीशा जी।
जी सर, को एडमिट करूँ सर?
हाँ, कर सकते हैं, कोई इशू नहीं। म्यूजिक प्ले कर दीजिए, उसके बाद हम एडमिट कर देते हैं।
साथ रहे साहस तभी परचम लहराएगा। यदि हारी हिम्मत तूने तो हार ही जाएगा। साथ रहे साहस तभी परचम लहराएगा। यदि हारी हिम्मत तूने तो हार ही जाएगा। कदम बढ़ाना मन में अपने रखना तू उम्मीद। कदम बढ़ाना मन में अपने रखना तू उम्मीद। मन के हारे हार है भैया, मन के जीते जीत। मन के हारे हार है प्यारे, मन के जीते जीत। मन के हारे हार है यारा, मन के जीते जीत। पसीने को कभी मोती कभी सोना बनाएगी। भरोसा रख तेरी मेहनत यकीनन रंग लाएगी। पसीने को कभी मोती कभी सोना बनाएगी। भरोसा रख तेरी मेहनत यकीनन रंग लाएगी। इरादे तू जो अपने आसमां से ऊंचे रखेगा। इरादे तू जो अपने आसमां से ऊंचे रखेगा। मेरा दावा है मंजिल खुद तेरी चौखट पे आएगी। मेरा दावा है मंजिल खुद तेरी चौखट पे आएगी। हाथ थाम कर एक दूजे का गाओ प्रेम के गीत। हाथ थाम कर एक दूजे का गाओ प्रेम के गीत। मन के हारे हार है भैया, मन के जीते जीत। मन के हारे हार है यारा, मन के जीते जीत। मन के हारे हार है बंधु, मन के जीते जीत। हमें मालूम है मुश्किल बड़ी ये जिंदगानी है। बहुत बाधाएं हैं फिर भी तो नदियों में रवानी है। हमें मालूम है मुश्किल बड़ी ये जिंदगानी है। बहुत बाधाएं हैं फिर भी तो नदियों में रवानी है। थका ना जो रुका ना राह में हरदम बढ़ागे। थका ना जो रुका ना राह में हरदम बढ़ागे। जिन्होंने हार ना मानी अमर उनकी कहानी है। जिन्होंने हार ना मानी अमर उनकी कहानी है। कल कल करती नदियों का तू सुन मीठा संगीत। कल कल करती नदियों का तू सुन मीठा संगीत। मन के हारे हार है भैया, मन के जीते जीत। मन के हारे हार है प्यारे, मन के जीते जीत। मन के हारे हार है यारा, मन के जीते जीत। साथ रहे साहस तभी परचम लहराएगा, यदि हारी हिम्मत तूने तो हार ही जाएगा। साथ रहे साहस तभी परचम लहराएगा, यदि हारी हिम्मत तूने तो हार ही जाएगा। कदम बढ़ाना मन में अपने रखना तू उम्मीद, कदम बढ़ाना मन में अपने रखना तू उम्मीद। मन के हारे हार है भैया मन के जीते जीत, मन के हारे हार है प्यारे मन के जीते जीत, मन के हारे हार है यारा मन के जीते जीत। पसीने को कभी मोती कभी सोना बनाए,
Simranji, we can start the session.
Okay, Richard, please confirm me if I'm audible. Uh, shall I start, Richard ji?
Yes, please confirm once
Okay.
with sir and start.
Okay. Write it on your heart that every day is the best day in the year. A very good morning to sir and all the members present over here. I, Simran Samantre, would like to welcome you all on behalf of Diya Delhi for today's special session on climatology with our kind and respected sir, Sandeep Mahajan sir. His multidimensional approach and comprehensive analysis will enhance us in this subject. Dear friends, I would like to give a brief introduction about him. Sandeep Mahajan sir is from Karnataka. He has completed his masters in international relations from SAARC University. Not only that, he is the gold medalist among 8 countries. He is the well-renowned faculty who has started teaching from 2013 in this UPSC field with Byju's, IS Baba, and several institutions. Respected sir, it's my honor to welcome you in this platform. Before starting the class, I would like to say one quote, which is, the study of geography is about more than just memorizing the places on map. It's about understanding the complexity of our world, approaching the cultures that exist across the countries. It's in the end, it's about using all that knowledge to help bridge divides and bring people together. Without any further delay, I would like to request sir to please further proceed the class. Thank you, and over to you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Hello, everyone. It's been long. So, guys, myself, Sandeep. In this session, I'm going to have a brief discussion on the basic aspects of climatology. So, one small request, use the chat for questions, and I'll give you time for the questions. You can raise your questions accordingly. And hope I am audible first. Okay. So guys, first of all, to study any subject, the basic aspect that you require is terminology. We don't understand any book if we don't understand the terminology properly. And it's very easy to say, okay, this term means this. For example, let us use the terms in geography like high pressure, low pressure. Right? It's very convenient to say, okay, I know what is high pressure, what is low pressure, but how exactly we need to see them and how questions come on the basis of these matters a lot for us now. So let us take up these concepts and read each one from the basics. So for all the students, just remember one thing, whether you have read the basic books or not, even if you have read, I will be giving the basics and going forward, because I will be using the terminology from my explanation point of view. So this is the reason, like, if you have not read geography before, it is fine. If you have read geography also, it is fine, because I will be teaching you to understand the concepts with greater depth, right? So don't write everything. I will tell you what exactly to note down. I want that to be there in your notes so that it would be easy for you to understand later. Fine. And every day after the class for half an hour to 1 hour, if you can revise, it should be good. I will try to ensure that you revise along with the class itself. But along with that, there will be certain aspects that we need to check. Fine. So first, to begin with, I want to introduce you to the concept of, like, heat, right? Where we normally see with respect to a term called as adiabatic heating and adiabatic cooling. Scientifically, some people might have heard, but let me first try to talk about this. A little bit about it, not much. Yes, I have two boxes. Everyone, in one box, the number of particles are moles. In another box, the number of particles are less, A and B. Now, everyone listen carefully. I am not heating it. I am not cooling it. I am not doing anything from outside. But can you people tell me, among A and B, which one will be hot and which one will be cool? Among A and B, which one will be hot? A will be hot. Good. Guys, A is hotter compared to B. Please understand. Now, you see, vibration between the particles. Good. You see, guys, let me say there is a box A with 30 degree. There is box B with 25 degree. Box C with 20 degrees Celsius. Now, my question is B hot or cold? I have three boxes, A, B, and C. Is B hot or cold? Medium, liquid, okay? Moderate, average, yes. One person raised a proper question. See, guys, B is cooler compared to A. Correct? B is hotter compared to C. So remember here, whenever I say something is hot, something is cool, I'm not talking about its temperature. I'm talking in comparison with the other one. Fine. If room is 20 degree, then B will be hotter, right? If room is 30 degree, B will be cooler. So let us take this particular case. See guys, let us say in a room, right? I put 100 people. In that room only 20 people can stay. But if I put 100 people into that, what is going to happen? As more people are there, as more particles are there, temperature increases. So if in a same area, if there are less number of people, friction will be less, number of people will also be less, and heat will also be less. So from this, I just want you to know that more particles in less area basically means more heat. And as you have more heat, what is going to happen? There will be more pressure as well. Please understand the second aspect, that is pressure will also be more. Yes, in a small room, if more people are there, what is going to happen? Pressure also increases. So there will be more heat and more pressure. Along with that, what is going to happen? There will be more density as well. See, if particles are more, density is more. And if density is more, heat will be more. And pressure is also more. This is the basic concept that I want you people to have with clarity, right? So now I will show you all one important thing. This is Earth's surface. You have A and you have B. Two layers, A and B. See guys, if in A, the number of air particles are more, so it will have high density. It will have high temperature. It will have high pressure. And as I go above, air is less. That means I'll have low density, low temperature, and low pressure. Fine. So please understand, in this particular case, I am not heating from outside. I'm not cooling from outside. I just increased the number of particles. So whenever particles increases, what is going to happen? Heat is increasing, pressure is increasing. This is called as adiabatic heating. Adiabatic heating and adiabatic cooling. Do you understand the term now, guys? What is the meaning of adiabatic? Without external heat, when all the particles come closer, temperature increases. If particles move away from each other, temperature decreases. That is called as adiabatic heating and adiabatic cooling. Now, I want you to write a heading, climatology. Below that, you write basic terminologies. Basic terminologies. And below that, you write adiabatic heating and cooling. Adiabatic heating and cooling. Okay. Below that, you draw these two guys, A and B, these two boxes. These two you draw. If this is done, right below, when there are more air particles, closer to each other, then density, temperature and pressure increases. Temperature, density and pressure increases. Next line. When the number of air particles decreases, temperature, pressure and density, decreases. Below this, adiabatic heating and cooling occurs without external heat. Underline the word without. Without external heat, you underline this. So guys, I just want you to know two things here. Guys, geography, 40% of the marks. is for diagrams. Even basic concept, you need to draw diagrams and explain in the exam. So out of 10 marks, in your answer, 4 marks is kept for diagrams. If you don't draw diagram, you won't get this 4 marks. And diagram doesn't mean for the sake of drawing something and leaving. Recently, I was seeing one mains student's answer. The question was, how transportation benefits is the question. And he wants to show a diagram of transportation. You know what he did? He just drew India map, and he has connected the places, and he has told it is golden quadrilateral, and he has written everything. That is not the way to represent. Diagram should explain the concept. 40% of the marks is kept for diagram. Until and unless you don't write diagrams, you won't get answers like marks. This is first point. Second point, prelims, the types of questions which are increasing is 2. One is they are giving you 4 options, and they're asking you 1 pair only, 2 pair only, 3 pair only, correct? You might have seen. The second one is statement 1 and statement 2 is. Statement 1, statement 2. Statement 1 is correct. Statement 2 is correct. Statement 2 is correct explanation of 1. Statement 2 is not correct explanation of 1. So they're asking you question and reason. This they used to do before 2011. From 2011 till 2021, reasoning based questions reduced. But now UPSC is again focusing on reasoning based questions. So if someone asks you or tells you something, not only in this subject, any subject, if someone tells you something, let us say, cheetah is introduced in Kuno National Park. Immediately you should ask, why only Kuno? Why not something else? Why not somewhere else? So statement is important. Reason is very, very important. Until and unless you don't know the reason, you can't answer questions. That's the reason I have started with the basics. I can simply teach you this is atmosphere. In atmosphere, these things will be there, and tell you this is the case. But UPSC simply is asking you reason. Understanding is important for UPSC today. For you also, understanding is important. 2 things I'll do. Once we are done with the class, I will wait for 10-15 minutes. Those students who could not ask same topics, if you want some more clarity, you can wait, you can ask me there. Again, I will explain you the same concept, but I want you to ensure that if there are 15 questions in geography, at least 12 you should be able to do. And with the class lectures and the notes that I give you, it should be easier for you to achieve this particular things. So after talking about adiabatic heating and cooling and all, the second important word that we are all interested is about geoids. You might have heard and you might have read, even if you have not read, the shape of the earth is said to be geoid. Correct, guys, everyone? Shape of the earth. See, geo means earth. Id means shape. The shape of the earth is geoid. Okay. Can anyone tell me what is the actual meaning of geoid? What is the actual meaning of geoid? Poles are flat, flattered. Yeah, ma'am. Density basically means, ma'am, when more particles are closer to each other, we call density is more. So you take the case iron. 1 kilo of iron if I take, and 1 kilo of cotton if I take, in cotton, particles are far away from each other, and in iron, particles are closer to each other. So when particles are closer to each other, we say density is more. When particles are far from each other, we say density is less. In physical terms, it is weight per unit area. As I told you, scientific words are not helpful. So just remember, when particles are closer, we say density is more. If particles are away, density is less. So a lot of students gave me clarity on geoid. Okay, guys. Whatever is there, I'll just try to help you out with the confusion and other aspects. See, basically geoid means it is bulged near equator and it is compressed near the poles. Fine. You see, bulged means expanded near the equator and it is compressed, reduced near the poles. Fine. Two important words you saw here: bulged near the equator and compressed near the poles. So let me explain you the entire concept with clarity here. Is everyone for 2 minutes, listen carefully. The story that I'm going to tell you is not proven, but it is accepted. There is difference between this. That is, we don't know whether it is true or not, but everyone says it is true. Especially NCERT says it is true, so we are going to accept it. Guys, everyone, please see here. Initially, the entire universe was in tiny ball format, very, very thin. Can you imagine universe which is so big? If it is all closer, if it is all together, then what is going to happen? Density will be very, very high. So there will be very less temperature or very high temperature. Can you tell what will be the case if all the particles are closer? What will be the case? Very high temperature or very less temperature? High temperature. So guys, initially the universe had infinite temperature and infinite pressure. This geography is very easy, guys. It is not at all difficult, right? I'll help you to understand in a simpler format possible. Just listen carefully, and I'll give you time to write. You can write down at that time. Infinite temperature, infinite pressure. Okay. Then what happened? People say there was a very, very big blast. So we call it as Big Bang. Suddenly there was a blast. Okay, so let me say I'll take a coconut. Fine. And I'll break it. I'll put it with very high pressure, I'll break it. Can I say, when I break coconut with very high pressure, it breaks into smaller particles? Similarly, what is going to happen? Even universe broke down into smaller particles. Universe also broke down into smaller particles. Now I want you people to tell me, immediately after Big Bang, when the particles broke down and it started moving away from each other. So you tell me, if particles start moving away from each other, will the temperature reduce or will the temperature increase? In other words, will there be cooling of the universe or heating of the universe? What is going to happen? Cooling of the universe. Very good. This is prelims question. Please understand, everyone, what was prelims question? Prelims question was, immediately after Big Bang theory, immediately after Big Bang, universe started cooling. Is that point correct? Yes. So there was two things. Cooling of the universe. Second most important thing, there was expansion of the universe. 11th standard NCERT book gives you this, and one guy asked, sir, what is the reason for explosion? Good. See guys, what exactly is the reason? We are not aware, but what is explained to us is, when all the particles came closer, as pressure was extremely high, it broke down into smaller particles, is what is said. But still, scientists are finding about it. Yeah, unstable conditions due to high pressure, whatever is the reason. Fine. Now, you saw this particular part. Now you see third one. I will just take one particle. I have smaller particles and I had some gases. These are my gases. These are smaller particles, and some people call it as planetesimals. Fine. Now, everyone, you see properly. Now, what is going to happen? This is bigger. As it is bigger, its gravitational pull will be more. Remember, any particle, if its size is more, its gravitational force will be more. So what is going to happen? This particle will go towards this. This particle will go towards this. all the particles started coming towards this. Everyone, can you please tell me now, when all the particles come closer, again, will the temperature increase or will the temperature decrease, guys? Increase. You see, now what happened? Temperature increased. As temperature increased, what happened? Here we observe that molten magma. Yeah, ma'am, just remember one thing, ma'am. Every object has a tendency to attract another object based on the size and the distance. Fine. That is called as, like, gravitational force. That is, if I keep a magnet, fine, and I keep iron, magnet tries to pull the iron. That is magnetic force. But if I have earth, if I try to jump, earth tries to pull me down. That is my gravitational force. If size is more, force is more. If size is less, force is less. Fine, basic. Ma'am, planetesimal basically means smaller particles after the, yeah, you see here, I'm sorry. After Big Bang, some small particles were formed. People called these particles as planetesimals, and from these planetesimals, planets were formed. And yes, from these planetesimals, planets were formed. Now, what happened? Everything came together. Temperature increased. I'll write here. Temperature increased. It formed molten magma. And around this molten magma, there was some gases present. Everyone, see two things. Gases were there, planetesimals were there. All the planetesimals came together to form molten magma. And around molten magma, we normally observe some gases present, and these gases are called as primordial. Atmosphere. What is it called as? Primordial atmosphere or initial atmosphere. It is also called as initial atmosphere, primitive atmosphere. And guys, please understand, in this primitive atmosphere, there was hydrogen and helium. Which gases were there mostly in primordial or primitive atmosphere? Hydrogen and helium. UPSC in prelims, they will give you in primordial atmosphere or in primitive atmosphere of the earth. Let us say this is earth. This molten magma is earth. Okay. In primitive atmosphere of the earth, huge quantities of oxygen was present. They will give you a question like this. Huge quantities of oxygen was present. Wrong. Oxygen was not present. In primordial atmosphere, hydrogen and helium was present. And remember guys, even in the sun today, you will have hydrogen and helium. In science and technology, you will be studying about it. But for us, for the basic aspects, in the primordial atmosphere, we had hydrogen and helium. Clear, guys? Now you see what happens. What was there for us? We had molten magma. And let me assume that this is our Earth. This is an assumption, guys. Fine. Earth, molten magma was there. What happened, guys? This molten magma, Earth was rotating, and Earth is rotating even now. When Earth was rotating, two things happened. One, all the heavier particles went to the center. Yes, denser, heavier means whosever weight is more, they all went to the center. So what happened here? There was heavier particles going to the center and lighter particles came to the periphery. See guys, I repeat this, please understand, everyone. There was bigger particle surrounded by smaller particles, and these were called as planetesimals. Around this planetesimals, there was some gas. This gas is known as primordial atmosphere or primitive atmosphere, which includes hydrogen and helium. Which was absent? Oxygen was absent. Second, when all the particles came closer, what happened? Magma, temperature increased and it became molten magma. And this molten magma was rotating. As it was rotating, there was a process called as segregation of particles. So what happened? Segregation of particles. What happened in the segregation of particles? Denser is at the center. Lighter is at periphery. Now guys, due to this, Earth got divided into three parts. We got core, we got mantle, and we got crust. The segregation of particles led to formation of core, mantle, and crust. I'll explain this in greater detail in further classes, but just this is basic. Now guys, everyone, you tell me again. I'm talking about molten magma. Everyone, you tell me now, is Earth rotating from west to east, or is Earth rotating from north to south? What is the rotation of the Earth? Is Earth rotating from west to east or north to south? Everyone for 2 minutes, just look here. See guys, this basic concept is important for you. You see here, Earth is rotating like this, west to east. If Earth rotates like this, north to south, fine. So what we are aware is, Earth is rotating near equator like this. Earth is not rotating like this. Clear? Now, as Earth is rotating like this, what happened to the liquid gas? So here we had a basic thing, that is, there was a bulge near the equator. Why there was bulge near equator? You see, as Earth is rotating from west to east near equator, near the equator, it went far. And guys, as it goes far away, near the equator, why? Because of the rotation. It started moving outwards. And poles got compressed. So what is going to happen? If one side, if it expands, other side it comes closer. So what happened? Poles got compressed. Near equatorial region, there was expansion. Due to this, we observe Earth shape changing into geoid. What is geoid? Bulge near equator and compressed near poles. Everyone, did you understand how Earth became geoid? Yes, it expanded near the equator, compressed near the poles. Now I want you people to tell me, at the center of the Earth, do you have heavy metals or lighter metals? Do you have heavy metals or lighter metals? What is the reason? Heavy or lighter? Yes, we have heavy at the center. And what is this heavy? Which are the heavy metals that are there? Nickel and iron. Very good. Now what happened, guys? We went to the equator. See, this is my equatorial region. And then I went to the pole. And I observed. What I found, gravitational force is minimum near equator and gravitational force is maximum near poles. I have seen this. I went near the poles and I checked the gravitational force. I went towards equator and I checked the gravitational force. I found that near equator it is minimum. and near poles it is maximum. Yeah. Bilwinder is asking why initially Earth rotated from west to east. It could have rotated from east to west or north to south. Good. Bilwinder, it's a good question, but the point is very simple. Uranus is rotating in a different direction. Different planets in different solar systems, they all rotate in different directions. Now let us say, I told you, I took coconut and I hit it. So when I hit coconut in a particular, force, it broke, and what happens? Some small pieces, they keep rotating. Everything don't rotate in the same direction. It can rotate in the way it wants, based upon the size and other factors. But what we are aware today is, I don't know what happened at that time, because no one was there. What I observe today is, Earth is still rotating from west to east. Yeah, the question is correct, but we don't have answers for many of these. Now guys, what I observed was gravitational force is minimum near equator and it is maximum near poles. People had a doubt, why is this happening? Then they understood that equator is far from the center of the Earth and poles are closer. Poles are closer or near and equator is far. I have a simple question for those who don't understand this. Magnet, iron, iron. This is near, this is far. A and B. Magnetic force on iron on A will be more compared to B because of distance. Similarly, here also you understand that if anything is far, gravitational force reduces. If anything is closer, gravitational force increases. Because of this, gravitational force is minimum near equator and maximum near poles. Now, another question to you all, because of this Chandrayaan and all these aspects, my question to you is, gravitational forces maximum, gravitational forces minimum. I have a rocket. I have a rocket. Now, can you tell me, this is poles, this is equator. Where do I need less pressure to escape the Earth's gravitational force? Where can I escape easily? I can escape easily near equator. Now you understand that. Now do you all understand that why rocket launching stations are closer to equator? Why rocket launching stations are closer to equator? What is the reason? What is the reason? Gravitational force is minimum. And what is the reason for gravitational force? Geoid shape of the Earth. Statement 1. Rocket launching station is closer to equator. Statement 2. Earth is geoid shape. ये statement 1 is correct and 2 is correct. 2 explains 1. B, statement 1 is correct, statement 2 is correct. 2 doesn't explain 1. Can you tell which option is correct? Option A is correct because 2 explains 1. Good. Do you all understand now how to clarify this? Yes. Good. Yeah. Yes. In India, where do you have rocket launching stations? In India, where do you have rocket launching station? Sriharikota, you might have heard. Sriharikota. Where is Sriharikota, guys? Which state? Today it is Tirupati. Earlier it was Nellore, Andhra Pradesh. Good. Now my question to you all is Andhra Pradesh closer to equator or Kanyakumari closer to equator? Kanyakumari is closer to equator. Then why are we having it in good? See guys, normally if we take India, Sriharikota will be here. Fine. So here, Kanyakumari is there. You see, whenever a rocket is launched, fine, whenever rocket is launched, if the rocket fails, the rocket will fall on Sri Lanka. If I launch here, if the rocket fails, it will fall into Bay of Bengal. As there is no country here, we use this specific one than this. Second, why only Sriharikota? Why not other places? Because of the rocks present also. Guys, for rocket to be launched, what is going to happen? Like, the force with which it goes is very high. So because of that, the rock should be stronger. So they use strong areas. Yeah. France is near, 30-40 degree far away from the equator. So they come to South America to launch their satellites. Fine. Thrust of ejecting gases. Very good. Very good. I'm not using certain technical words because UPSC also doesn't ask you about it. Yeah. So guys, can you make a small note? You write geoid. Geoid. hyphen shape of the earth, shape of the earth, hyphen bulged near equator, bulged near equator, and compressed near poles. And compressed near poles. Next, you write below. Bulged means, ma'am, expanded. You can think expanded. Yeah. Guys, write these two pictures, guys, along with what is given below. Tiny ball, universe, infinite temperature, infinite pressure, cooling of the universe, expansion of the universe. You write this properly. Draw properly. Even after 1 year, you should be able to understand. Geography, you can't understand with language. You should understand with diagrams. For every word in the NCERT, you should have diagrams. Yeah, right below, right below. Initially, the entire universe, initially, the entire universe was in the form of tiny ball like structure, tiny ball like structure. And there was infinite temperature, and infinite pressure. Full stop. Almost 4.2 billion years ago, there was Big Bang, due to which there was cooling of the universe, and expansion of the universe. Cooling of the universe and expansion of the universe. Next, you write in the universe, there was gases in the form of, there was gases in the form of nebula, Nebula, gases in the form of nebula. And there was certain particles known as planetesimals. Below that, you write, when all these planetesimals came closer, it increased size and temperature leading to molten magma, surrounded by primordial atmosphere or primitive atmosphere. Okay, small confusion, sorry, it was not 4.2, it is 13.7. Sorry ma'am, I just got little confused here. You can scratch and write, it's not 4.2, it is 13.7. Thank you, Srishti. You write below, in the initial atmosphere, we observe hydrogen and helium. And there was almost absence of oxygen. And molten magma basically means, ma'am, rock in liquid form. You can think minerals will be there, right? Many things, but you can say it as rock in liquid form. That's easier way to see. Yeah, guys, draw these two ways. These two pictures you draw. Yeah. Vibash, you are right. There are many people who are trying to say that oxygen was there, but today, according to our known knowledge and NCRTs and other things, we have to go with it. It is not yet proven, but yes, they are finding it. Because if you see, what we call as Jupiter, and when we look at Uranus, Saturn and others, people are saying that oxygen and all were very, very less, or almost absent. At least one thing what we can say is not present in the quantities that are present now. And oxygen is of very big importance for us, mainly because life comes through that. That's the reason oxygen question will be asked. I'll take till 10:30, guys. Hope this is done. Yeah. Next, you draw these two ways. Only hydrogen and helium. Yeah, I'll tell ma'am how other gases came. We will tell. Draw these three. How other gases came is the next concepts we have. You write below. As Earth was rotating, it is believed that, not proven, it is believed. It is believed that there was segregation of particles. Segregation of particles. Full stop. Denser particles concentrated near the center, and lighter particles towards the periphery. And this led to and this led to segregation of earth into concentric layers. All this I'll explain this. Concentric layers of crust, mantle, and core. Concentric layers of crust, mantle, and core. Next is as the earth or molten magma, as the earth or molten magma was rotating from west to east, near equatorial axis, comma, we observe bulge near equator, and compression near poles. That is geoid shape of the earth. Full stop. Due to this, equator is far from the center of the earth. Equator is far from the center of the earth, and poles are closer. Full stop. Gravitational force depends on distance from the center of the earth. As equator is far, gravitational force is minimum, and it is maximum near poles. Next paragraph. As gravitational force is minimum near equator, most of the rocket launching stations are closer to equatorial region. Guys, draw these two, guys. Draw these two. Draw properly, guys. Like, so that later when you are going to go through this, it should be easier for you. Yes. Done, guys? Just write 2 lines there. India's rocket launching station is near Andhra Tamil Nadu border closer to Pulicat Lake in Sriharikota. Full stop. This place is chosen mainly because on the eastern side, there is no continent. No continent or no land which would be affected in case of failure. Guys, just two things. If there are 10,000 students who write names, 4,000 students are from geography optional. You can check the statistics. And this is possible because prelims is all about polity, economy, history, geography, environment and ecology, science and technology. Remaining is current affairs. This is common for all. Polity, every student studies well, guys, because the subject is like that. History, students are not able to answer nowadays because questions are difficult. Economy, right? Geography, environment. These three determines, because science and tech is again same for everyone. Now, geography and environment, whoever is good, they are writing mains easily. And that is the reason why more number of people are writing with geography optional. And because of this, I am also ensuring that I will teach you, right, GS at that level itself. Whatever GS portions are there for you, I will teach at the optional level, because hardly, it may take 5 minutes more. Remember, as I told you before as well, 70% of geography GS has overlapping with optional. Because of this, my main intention is to ensure that whatever geography portions of GS is there, I will do it conceptually at this level, so that for you geography and environment together should become easier, and you must be in the list. For us, your dedication is important, but at the same time, we will also give from our side whatever is required for you to be in. See, for polity, you have Lakshmikant. For economy, you have a lot of books. For geography, you don't have standard book. That is the reason I'm giving time on class notes. Don't worry, I will cover within time period. I won't take more time, but I want to ensure that every point that you write, if you are able to understand, later it will be easy for me to interlink. When I talk about atmospheric circulation, Hadley cell, why desert is there in a specific area, why ocean currents flow in a specific direction, for all this, these basic things are important. At that time, rather than explaining and by hearting, if we can understand in a better manner, it's easier. That is the main intention. So, guys, those who have clarity can leave. I'll give 5 minutes more. Anyone who has doubts can answer. Sorry, can ask. Next class, I'll take 2 hours. First day itself, I don't want to go for 2 hours. I'll increase the time gradually. I hope you understood the concepts. And if you need any further support, just let me know. Yeah, ma'am, class is over. Bulge basically means expansion. Yes, ma'am, 70% you will have. In the optional, 70% overlapping is there. So if you are reading GS, 70% of your optional is done. adiabatic heating basically means when all the particles come closer, temperature increases. When the particles move away, temperature decreases. That is called adiabatic heating and cooling. See, anywhere, if you are in a bus where more people are there, metro, if more people are there, temperature increases. Number of people reduces, temperature reduces slowly. Yes. Yeah. So that's a good thing. If more people are taking geography optional, will UPSC make it like, difficult? UPSC is not making it difficult. Students are not writing it properly, mainly because diagrams are not at all there. If scores are not there, that is purely because diagrams are not there. I'll explain geoid shape. Planetesimals basically means the particles from which Earth was formed or planets were formed. That is called as planetesimal. Yeah. Yes, words should reduce, diagram clarity should increase with respect to geography, not with other subjects. In geography, diagrams are very, very important. You tell me now in this class, if I have not shown diagrams, was it easier for you to understand, or with diagrams it is easier? So the same way we have to do. In the exam as well, you have to think that you are explaining to the people. Yeah, ma'am. Now you see, Sanya, we were talking about geoid shape. See, ma'am, as Earth is rotating from west to east, what is happening? Near the equator, we normally observe that the particles have a tendency to move away. See, when I rotate it like this, it has a tendency to move away. As the particles move away near the equator, what is going to happen? The remaining particles will come closer. So if you take a ball and compress on the top, what is going to happen? Near equator, it expands. Fine. Yes. While having classes, we will be dealing, ma'am, and already I have taken one session on that, how to prepare for geography. So that shouldn't be an issue. Generally, I have heard that if it is near the pole, the force should be more than, that means more than 11.2 kilometer per second. See, it's very simple. If it is 11.2 kilometer per second, just a minute. Yeah. See, if it is 11.2 kilometer per second, whatever you wrote, from equator, it is easy to escape. But if I go near the poles, I need to have more force. See, from here, if I want to launch a rocket, as gravitational force is more. Guys, what is gravitational force? In another term, you see, keep like this. I have kept the pen like this. I have kept the pen very tightly. Now I want to pull it hard. It is not possible. If I apply more pressure, it comes out. If I apply more force, it comes out. Near equator, it will be lightly kept. So escaping is easier. The force required is less. No, ma'am. Aurora borealis and aurora, this is different. So please don't get into that. I'll explain those concepts. Yes, I will only teach geography optional. Yeah. Ma'am, whether your science background or not doesn't matter. I will ensure that you understand the concepts clearly. The only condition for you to take geography is, we will be discussing that, but the only condition is you should be able to draw diagrams. Fine? Yes. Deepesh, yes, it is due to centrifugal force. I didn't use those terms because students get confused with those terms, but that is true. Fine? Yeah, every page, if you keep some place, it will be very helpful. When you read NCRTs and all, you can add to those. Yeah. Normally, ma'am, the rocket launching, whenever it is done, you see, if this is the place, rocket launching will be done like this. Right? It won't go just straight. You might see whenever the rockets are launched, after a point, it starts going like this. Right? It is moving eastwards. If I keep near Kerala, like, if it fails, it will fall on India only. That's the reason we chose that. Eastern side, if ocean is there, it's easier. I think science and tech faculty will explain in more detail. I didn't wanted to go to that. Thank you, ma'am. Yeah. See, centripetal forces are different, but here, basically what we are trying to analyze is very simple. Segregation of particles is observed. As I told you, it is believed in the beginning. Even that is the doubt many people raise. That is the reason we say that it is believed that there was segregation. Rachana, not necessarily, because molten phase, it might have changed over a period of time. So, not necessary. Attend a few more classes, guys. If you are comfortable with geography, no need to take Kannada literature and other things, mainly because you will be wasting your additional time on that. Thank you, guys. Thanks a lot. It was helpful. Fine. So we'll meet in next classes. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.